What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, it is all about NXT TAKEOVER War Games. Yes, this Sunday is, not only do we have NXT TAKEOVER War Games, but we also have Tribute to the Troops as well, which I'm a little skeptical about that because because Tribute to the Troops is on Fox. And I'm actually going on the Fox Now app on my Fire Stick right here, as you guys can tell. And I'm gonna see what time it starts. So while I'm doing that, I'm gonna be giving you guys my predictions for TakeOver War Games this Sunday. But before we get to all of that, hang on one second. What is? Oh. Oh, never mind. Alright, Alright, let me take a look at something. Hang on a second, guys. I'm going to sports, local news, live TV. Here we are. I want Sunday. Here we are. Here we go. Okay, so I want Fox 11. So it appears that nothing shows up. Alright, you know what? While I'm fast forwarding through that, before we get started with this, I actually do have something that I want to address. So I know, so if you guys haven't been living under a rock the last 24 hours, then you will know that yesterday, WWE Hall of Famer, Pat Patterson, sadly passed away at the age of 79, I think it was. I think they said. Alright, fine. Oh, it's at noon! Is it really? No way! Oh, that's perfect! Okay, so Tribute to the Troops starts at noon. That is interesting. That's interesting. Okay, so, alright, so that's awesome. So Tribute to the Troops starts at noon. I'm excited. Alright, you guys. So now we know Tribute to the Troops starts at noon, and it's perfect because TakeOver War Games starts at 3:30. That is awesome news. But yeah, so shout outs to Benjamin Richardson from What Culture for releasing the article as to pretty much what happened to Pat Patterson. So if you guys don't know anything about Pat Patterson, he was the inaugural Intercontinental Champion, I believe winning the title in 1975 in a tournament in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And then, of course, he's been a creative consultant for such a long time in WWE. He passed away yesterday morning in a hospital in Miami, and sadly, he was battling cancer. Honestly, this is kind of hard, given the fact that he has always, because the thing is, he started the business at 14, and I'm looking at the article exactly, of what his, what he's done over the years, but he got into the business at the age of 14, and he he had won. He had been a part of WWE for such a long time, and the last championship he had ever won was actually last year, becoming the 24/7 champion at the age of 78, which made him the oldest champion in WWE history. So this is saddy news. Really, this is so sad. Because if you guys don't know, Pat Patterson, back in the Attitude Era, he was I guess he portrayed him and Gerald Briscoe portrayed like as had the characters of being like the stooges for Vince McMahon during the whole McMahon Helmsley regime, bullshit and whatnot. And yeah, that's hard. That is hard. And he was such an incredible. I may not have met him personally, but I've seen some of his matches, on when they were posted on YouTube and whatnot. He was one hell of a superstar. He was, but I'm sure that he was an even greater person. So big shout outs to Pat Patterson's family. You guys have my condolences. That's just hard. That is just hard. So guys, comment below hashtag RIP Pat Patterson. Comment below. Send and give them your guys' condolences. That's just hard. That's just hard. But with that being said, shifting gears, TakeOver War Games. Over the last few years, War Games has literally lived up to its hype. And it's funny because the Undisputed Era has been in all 3 men's War Games matches, and they're going to be competing in their 4th consecutive War Games match. Their 4th, which I will be talking about later on in this video. But right now, we have a match that was actually announced last night on NXT, as the former NXT champion Tommaso Ciampa will do battle against Timothy Thatcher. Now, one thing I want to point out, if you guys have been following WWE on their Instagram story, which I'm actually on right now, literally, you will know that Timothy Thatcher's student was talking to Malcolm Bivens. If you guys don't know who Malcolm Bivens is, he was the the manager for Indus Sher, who was a tag team that we had saw earlier on in the summer, trying to go after the NXT tag team titles. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that student might be shifting gears, but we will see. But of course, Timothy Thatcher has always, kept saying, to Ciampa, I got that. Hey, I got no beef with you. We cool. It's all good. Ciampa's like, nope. We got beef. We got beef. And this Sunday, that beef comes to a close. Honestly, this is an interesting development, because Timothy Thatcher has only been in NXT since this whole pandemic even started back in March. Literally, back in March. And it's funny. It's funny because Timothy Thatcher was holding the NXT Tag Team titles on behalf of Pete Dunne, who is actually in the War Games match, which again I'll talk about later on. But then ended up turning his back on Matt Riddle, and we all thought that since Pete Dunne was back in NXT, a lot of people had speculated that we could see Thatcher versus Dunne, but that did not come to pass. This time it is Tommaso Ciampa against Thatcher. I'm just gonna be blunt. I'm gonna say Tommaso Ciampa because Ciampa he's been in NXT for such a long time. He's been in this business for a long time. He's traveled the world. He's honed his craft. And the first time we got to see Tommaso Ciampa like really show out, if you will, it was in the 2016 Cruiserweight Classic, which we have yet to get another one. We have yet to get another one, still to this day, where he battled his then tag team partner in DIY, Johnny Gargano, which was an incredible match, and I saw that whole tournament from beginning to end. That match stole the show, hands down. And with this match, I'm sticking with Ciampa. I am sticking with Ciampa. Alright, you guys, next up we have Dexter Lumis versus Cameron Grimes in a strap match. How many people can say that they've been in a strap match? Damn, no water. Anyway, how many people can say that they've been in a strap match? Not a lot of people. I know that John Cena can stay claim to it. I think, who else can I name? Maybe Jeff Hardy. Not a lot of people. Not a lot of people can say that they've been in strap matches, or even a match that resembles it in a way. But yeah. So honestly, this match, I'm not even gonna call it. I'm just gonna say it, Dexter Lumis, because Dexter Lumis is one of those guys that is just so freaky. He is as freaky as they come. Literally, he is. And once you look into his eyes, you're pretty much done. You're done. You're done. Hands down. So I'm going with Dexter Lumis on this one. Alright, you guys. Now we are looking into actually the only title match on the card for NXT TakeOver War Games. And if you haven't guessed it, it is for the NXT North American Championship as Leon Ruff. Yeah, you heard me right there, everybody. Leon Ruff will defend the title against two former champions, former North American champions, and Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest. This is what I find so interesting. Leon Ruff has only been in NXT, has been under contract, actually. Has been under contract with NXT for only a couple months. Only a couple months. And he's already the North American champion. Which, honestly... honestly, I was literally, like, losing my mind. I was tripping, like, what? A guy like Leon Ruff as North American champion is funny, because you would have to be... It could take someone months, and I don't mean a couple months. I mean like at least excuse me, like 6 months to a year to win their first championship, and it took Leon Ruff less than 2. Yeah, but it's funny because we've seen Leon Ruff on Raw, on SmackDown, and on 205 Live when they hosted those shows at the Performance Center in Orlando. But now they're hosting Raw and SmackDown and the pay-per-views inside the Thunderdome at Amway Center. But now this time they're gonna host the Thunderdome inside Tropicana Field in Tampa, which is going to be interesting given the fact that now baseball season is done. Baseball season is done. The Dodgers won the World Series, which is awesome. Now we're going into the NBA season, which we could see the Lakers pull it off. The Lakers could very may well do it. You know, I think the Rams I think the Rams are still in it. I don't know. I don't keep up with those types of sports anymore. But anyway, yeah. So this is a very interesting matchup because all three of these guys are extremely gifted, especially Leon Ruff. He's okay. You know what? Why am I even kidding myself? He's been lucky. All of his victories have been just dumb luck. Ooh, sorry guys. Sorry about that, guys. Ever since that accident I had, my neck's been hurt. My neck has been hurting a little bit. But anyway, yeah, it's just been dumb luck. Dumb fucking luck. And if you guys remember last night on NXT, it was supposed to have been a tag match between Legado del Fantasmas, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza against Kurt Stallion and Leon Ruff. But unfortunately, that did not come to pass as Legado del Fantasma took out Kurt Stallion, and Damian Priest was like, you know what? I'm in. I want to ensure that Leon Ruff actually makes it to TakeOver. Honestly, I think that was pretty smart of him, because that way we would really have ourselves a triple threat match instead of it just being one-on-one between Gargano and Priest. This is interesting though, because Gargano, he's had well over a dozen takeovers. He's had matches at TakeOver well over like 17 times, I'd say, like somewhere around there. He's been a part of quite a few. And out of every single one, he has won only a small handful. He's only won a small handful. And to name some of them, TakeOver Toronto 1, TakeOver Phoenix, TakeOver New York, just to name a few anyway. But yeah, this is gonna be a very interesting matchup. But I'm gonna take a wild guess. I'm gonna say Damian Priest. I'm gonna say we're gonna have ourselves a new North American champion in Damian Priest. Alright, you guys. Now it's time for War Games. If you guys don't know the rules for War Games, the rules are simple. One man from both teams will start the match. After 5 minutes, whoever has the advantage, whichever team has the advantage, that team, one team member from that team will enter the match. After 3 minutes, interchanging superstars will be entering the match. So in this case, because that Pete Dunne had defeated Kyle O'Reilly last week on NXT to gain the advantage for War Games, Team McAfee will be getting the second man going into the match. Once all 8 men have entered, War Games officially begins. When a superstar leaves the cage by going over the top and both feet hit the floor, he forfeits the match for his entire team. And the only way to win is by pinfall or submission. So what's interesting about this year's War Games matches is that we have the Undisputed Era once again, but their opponents this time is Team McAfee, which consists of Pete Dunne, the NXT Tag Team Champions Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, and Pat McAfee himself. On the women's side, we have Team Blackheart versus Team LeRae. Team LeRae has the captain herself, Team LeRae, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and originally it was supposed to have been Indy Hartwell, but because that Ember Moon took her out with an eclipse, Toni Storm turned heel on Ember Moon and thus joined Team LeRae. Team Blackheart has the captain, which is Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai. And it's funny and it's interesting because last year's War Games, Rhea Ripley was the captain, and both her and Candice LeRae had beat the other members the opposing team, which ended up being Team Baszler, which, if I remember correctly, let me go back. In which, if I remember correctly, last year was Team Ripley versus Team Baszler, and it was supposed to have been Rhea Ripley and all 3 members of Team Kick, the original members: Tegan Nox, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai. Team Baszler, Shayna Baszler, the NXT Women's Champion at the time, Io Shirai, the current champion now, Kaylee Ray, the NXT UK Women's Champion still, and Bianca Belair. Which was interesting because with the Undisputed Era, their opponents was Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dijakovic, who is now, I guess, T-Bar, I think, and Kevin Owens. Crazy enough. Crazy enough. Crazy enough. This is gonna be interesting because with War Games, when it comes to War Games and the Undisputed Era, they've only won one War Games match, and that was the inaugural one against which was Fish, Cole, and O'Reilly against AOP and I think, who was it? Roderick Strong. And then, of course, against Sanity, which was Eric Young, Killian Dane, and Alexander Wolf, who have now gone their separate ways. Obviously, Wolf is with Imperium over on NXT UK. Killian Dane is with Drake Maverick, which is an interesting one. And then, of course, Eric Young is doing his own thing. I'm gonna be honest and say, given the fact that the Undisputed Era have had more experience with War Games, I'm gonna give them and Team Blackheart the. I guess give them make them my predictions, because the Undisputed Era, they have had one hell of a 2020. Obviously, you guys know 2019. Obviously, you guys know 2019 was their year. Adam Cole finally becoming NXT champion. Fish and O'Reilly had winning the NXT tag titles. And of course, Roderick Strong finally becoming the NXT North American champion, which was awesome. But of course, 2020, it was a falling out. It was absolutely, it was a disaster. Let's just say it like that. It was a fucking disaster. So I am sticking with Team Blackheart and the Undisputed Era. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to see more prediction videos and more result videos for WWE and for Yu-Gi-Oh!, definitely hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links are down in the description. And comment below using the hashtag TakeOverWarGames. I want to see who you guys are picking for these matches. So comment below, use the hashtag TakeOverWarGames, your predictions. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.